congressional circus continues, this time with freshman Republican Congressman George Santos putting on quite a performance over the weekend after an activist asked the congressman about the ongoing Israel-Gaza war. Now, before we show you more of that interaction, if you want to call it that, let's discuss what led up to it. Let's give you some more context. So the altercation took place in the Longworth House Office Building, where House Republicans were gathered to pick their nominee for Speaker, and which is of course open to the public. So activists are free to enter that building. Now, a group of activists did enter that building. They attended the meeting and questioned various Republican members about the retaliatory attacks by Israel in the Gaza Strip. Now, the activists first approached former Speaker Kevin McCarthy, who said that he actually supported Hamas being killed before walking away with his staff, and passed by George Santos, who was holding a baby. It's kind of unclear whose baby it is, although there's a little bit of clarity. Now, George Santos, in a tweet that was posted, George Santos just left Tim Burchett's office with a baby in his arms. When asked if it was his baby, he said, "Not yet." Unclear what that means. He is a lunatic. Now, for some unknown reason, Santos also wanted Kevin McCarthy to acknowledge the baby. He said, "One of my staffers' baby. Look at this baby, Mr. Speaker," Santos said to McCarthy, who then briefly acknowledged the baby before moving on and ducking into another GOP member's office. Now, after McCarthy skirted that situation as quickly as possible, that's when the activists decided to ask some questions to George Santos about what's happening in Gaza. And he said this at first. George Santos did. "Do not record the baby. Do not record this baby," Santos said. The activists walked away and things seemed to dissipate. And the activists turned the corner back down where more members would be. But then Santos returned, talking to the activists who were surrounded by police. And this is when things got super heated and Santos engaged in the theater you're about to experience.
"And the next time he tries to accost me with a child in my hand, I want him out of here."
What happened exactly?
He's an animal. I am holding a child. He is a terrorist sympathizer.
Who?
You can go look at the video.
Mr. Santos, who?
What happened?
Tell us what happened. Santos, who?
The gentleman back there is a terrorist sympathizer that has no business in this building. What is happening in Israel is abhorrent. What is happening to the people of Israel should not be defended. Nobody defending Hamas has any business in this building, whether you're elected, whether you're a civilian. It is a disgrace that we allow people to parade that kind of thought in here.
So he just called a person of Jewish descent a terrorist sympathizer. So one of the protesters, who identified himself as Shabd Singh, an American Jew who lives in Washington, D.C., said he wanted to question the lawmakers about what they were doing to stop the ongoing murder of civilians, not Hamas, civilians in the Gaza Strip. It's unclear if he was the one specifically confronting Santos in that, in that whole situation. But he was later detained by Capitol Police after this whole ordeal. He said, quote, "My ancestors, entire branches of my family were killed in the Holocaust, and I'm here to say you cannot weaponize Jewish pain to continue the mass murder of civilians in Gaza." So Cenk, look, to me, I don't believe anything that comes out of Santos's mouth. He is not to be trusted. He's a well-known, notorious liar, right? So to me, that whole, it was all a performance to me. I don't think that he cares about any of this and he's trying to deflect and distract from what a terrible, hideous person he is, so much so that members of his own party are trying to expel him from Congress.
Okay, I don't know if I'm allowed to say drama queen, but that was some serious drama right there. And it's all fake. Everything about him is fake. What are you carrying around a baby for? What a weirdo. And then he brings it to Kevin McCarthy and demands that McCarthy look at a baby? Who goes around demanding that people look at babies? I mean, other than the human baby that is George Santos. So we're all forced to look at this man-child and his silly histrionics. So then he pretends to be offended that somebody asked him a question while he's carrying around a baby. But brother, they're in there asking questions to Congress people, and unfortunately you're one of them. They didn't know or anticipate that you would be weirdly carrying a baby around in Congress. And so and all the pretend outrage. And he called that guy a terrorist sympathizer and terrorist scum. When the guy said it on tape, I heard it, you could hear it in the beginning of the tape. I'm a descendant of Holocaust survivors. What are you talking about, right? So apparently if you say, please don't kill innocent civilians, you're terrorist scum. I think that he might need to work on his logic, but he needs to work on everything in his life. But guys, to me, the bigger story here is this is politics in the year 2023. It's just nothing but bread and circus. So we've got a bunch of clowns running around in Congress. The notorious liars, everybody knows they're liars. Bunch of con men. The leader of one of the parties is probably the biggest con man in American history. It's all shows, all fake fights, all theater. No one's proposing a single thing that helps you guys. They're like, oh wow, the Republicans are a mess. So what? What were they? They don't have a single bill that would help the average American. They're not even trying. The only thing that they proposed in the beginning that was substantive was cut our IRS agents because they're going to audit our donors, the wealthiest Americans. We can't have it. So if you're among the richest, the Republicans will protect you. Otherwise, they'll throw babies around and juggle them or whatever, and then pretend to be upset and call Jewish people terrorist sympathizers. So it's, yeah, Santos is a psychologically damaged person, but so are a lot of folks in that building.
Yeah, absolutely. And he doesn't have a great track record with Jewish Americans, to say the least. So maybe be a little more careful about the accusations that you throw around against other Jewish Americans. In fact, he has a history about lying when it comes to Jewish individuals, about his heritage. Let's get a little refresher on that.
Look, as I always joke, I'm Jew-ish.
Throughout his campaign, Republican Congressman-elect George Santos would refer to himself as half Jewish or a Latino Jew, often telling his grandparents' story, how he says they survived the Holocaust as Ukrainian Jewish refugees. Records from the Holocaust Museum and the International Center on Nazi Persecution, which keeps records on Jewish refugees, show no mention of Santos's grandparents. One genealogist who helped research Santos's family tree at CNN's request said there's no sign of Jewish and or Ukrainian heritage and no indication of name changes along the way.
I'm so proud to be able to keep our family going forward and showing that not only did we survive, but now I'm able to go advocate and fight for other Jewish people.
See what I mean when I say he's a notorious liar? Lies about his family's history, about his heritage, just a complete pathological, insane liar. And the performance he put on in regard to his treatment of those activists, calling them terrorist sympathizers, there might be a political reason why he engaged in that performance as well. So his district does have a sizable Jewish population. Now it's been redistricted. But prior to the redistricting, it was about 20%. About 20% of the population in New York's 3rd district composed of Jewish Americans. They did not support him in the election. Very low turnout for George Santos among Jewish voters. So I definitely applaud them for making the right decision and voting against him. But anyway, Cenk, any final thoughts on this?
Yeah, it looks like his district's now about 13% Jewish, which is still a pretty high number. And maybe he's doing it for that, maybe he's doing it for other reasons in his weird anti-Semitic mind. Maybe he thinks, oh, the donors are Jewish and he's gonna get some sort of support or something like that. I don't know what goes through his psychotic mind. But he's going to every extreme that he can. He talks about the deep state. He had the assault weapon pin. He's trying to go as MAGA as he can to try to rally that part of the electorate behind him. In his district, it isn't working at all. Not only are Jewish Americans massively against him in his district, and were from the get-go. They made the right decision from day one. And by the way, he was running against someone who was a Jewish American too. But also Republicans in his district have rejected him. And so all of this histrionics isn't going to help him at all. But I wish that more people would realize that a lot of our politicians are serial liars and all they're doing is serving their donors and not their voters, and none of them are proposing any bills that help. Almost none of them are proposing any bills that help you. So this is America now. And it's so sad that this is what we've devolved to, with a bunch of, psychotic clowns running around pretending to be our representatives.
Thanks for watching. If you become a member, you get to watch all this ad-free, except for, of course, this ad. Still, hit the join button below.